Hello students, welcome to today's class. We will proceed with the story Indigo written by Louis Fisher. The lesson is an excerpt taken from the book The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Now we come to know till the part where Gandhi arrived in Champaran after gathering enough information about the sharecroppers case from the lawyers of Muzaffarpur. And when he reached Champaran, he started in a non-violent way. He tried to collect the facts. He tried to proceed with the sharecroppers case by having talks and discussions with the authorities. So at first he went to the secretary of the Landlord Association, but he didn't get any help there. And then he went to the official commissioner of the Root Division in his Champaran district lay, but here also Gandhi didn't get much help. He was bullied, and he was also told to leave the district as soon as possible. But Gandhi didn't obey, and instead he went to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Now in Champaran, Gandhiji he went to a nearby village. He heard about incident where a villager is being maltreated in a nearby village. So when he heard this news, Gandhi went on elephant back to this nearby village to look into the matter. And then what happened? Let us see. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent messengers overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. Gandhi complied. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. In consequence, Gandhi received a summons to appear in court the next day. All night Gandhi remained awake. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instructions to the ashram. He wired a full report to the Viceroy. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. They didn't know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. The official felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might hitherto dreaded and unquestioned could be challenged by Indians. So when Gandhiji proceeded to the nearby village on elephant back, he was stopped by the police superintendent messenger, and he was asked to he was served with a notice, and this notice was to order Gandhiji to leave Champaran by the first available ground. So Gandhiji was asked to leave Champaran as soon as possible, was asked to leave Champaran by the first available ground. But Gandhi had come there to help the poor sharecroppers, and unless and until he secured or sought justice for them, he was not going to leave. So he disobeyed the order, and he also wrote a reply to the district magistrate that he would not disobey the order, and he was ready to suffer the penalty of disobeying the order. Now in consequence, so as a result of this, what happened? Gandhi was asked to, or was summoned to appear in court the next day. So Gandhiji was summoned in the court. He was asked to appear, or he was asked to appear in his trial the next day. And when Gandhiji's trial took place that day, it was one of the most memorable moments in the history of Champaran, because the entire Motihari was black with peasants. There were many peasants in and around Motihari, especially in front of the courthouse. Many peasants. So many peasants, they demonstrated in front of the courthouse where Gandhiji's trial was going to be held. And they were so huge in number that the Britishers could not regulate the crowd or could not control the crowd without Gandhi's cooperation. So Gandhiji had to come to their rescue, and he had to help them to regulate the crowd. He had to help the police authorities to regulate the crowd. So when Gandhiji told the crowd peacefully to disperse, they at once obeyed, because they already knew Gandhiji to be their savior, to be the Mahatma. So they at once willingly they agreed, and they actually dispersed. But this put the authorities in great confusion. So they were very much scared to hold the trial on that particular day. They thought of postponing the trial. they thought of postponing the trial because they feared that there might be a public unrest or there might be a peasant uprising if Gandhiji's trial would be held that day. But Gandhiji, he protested against the delay and he asked the authorities to hold the trial on that particular day itself. Now next it is said, Gandhi protested against the delay. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved, he told the court, in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker, on the other hand to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave, not for want of respect for lawful authorities, but in obedience to the higher law of being the voice of conscience. He asked the penalty due. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2-hour recess and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused. The judge released him without bail. When the court reconvened, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. So, when Gandhiji's trial took place, the authorities, the magistrate, they were completely taken by surprise by Gandhiji's statement, because Gandhiji, he read a brief statement declaring himself guilty. And why he declared himself as guilty, or why he pleaded himself as guilty? Because he disobeyed the law. He disobeyed the order to leave Champaran. So the district magistrate provided him with a notice to leave Champaran by the first available train. But Gandhiji disobeyed the order, so therefore he pleaded himself guilty. But he said that why he actually decided to remain guilty, or why he decided to disobey the order, he gave a explanation about it. So he said that he was in a conflict of duties. On one hand, he didn't want to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. He didn't want to go against the law. He didn't want to disobey the order because he was a law-abiding citizen. So he didn't want to go against the law, or he didn't want to go against the order which asked him to leave Champaran immediately. But on the other hand, he had come to Champaran to provide national and humanitarian service. So a sharecropper, Rajkumar Shukla, went to him and asked him to help the poor sharecroppers. And when he came to Champaran and when he saw how these people were betrayed or deceived or befooled by the Britishers, by the British landlords, he was very, very annoyed and he wanted to help them. So unless and until he provided help or support, or he provided justice for these peasants, he could not leave the district. So he had come there to provide humanitarian and national justice, and therefore service. So therefore what happened? On one hand, he didn't want to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. On the other hand, he couldn't go against the voice of his conscience. So he wanted to listen to both the voices, the voice of law, the legal authority, and the voice of the higher conscience, the conscience which told him about his duty towards the sharecroppers of Champaran, that he had to render them with humanitarian and national service. So ultimately, as Gandhiji was in a conflict of duties, he decided to listen to his voice of conscience, and therefore he had to act guilty, or he had to be guilty actually. Now the entire courthouse was baffled by Gandhiji's statement, his answer, his his answer about the conflict of duties. So the magistrate, he was so baffled that he wanted 2 hours to pronounce the judgment, and Gandhiji was asked to furnish bail for those 120 minutes or for those 2 hours. But Gandhiji, he refused to pay the bail. But the magistrate had to release Gandhiji without bail, and later on when the court reconvened, even then Gandhiji was allowed to reside in Champaran. He was released without bail. So here actually the power of the Indians, which was shown or demonstrated for the first time, is actually shown here. So when we hear about the freedom movement, we always hear about such national heroes like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, but there were contributions made by some unsung heroes. So the contributions made by the unsung heroes is also important, such as Rajkumar Shukla, such as the peasants who gathered that day in front of the courthouse of Motihari. They were so powerful, they were so huge in number that the authorities could not organize the trial of Gandhiji. So this shows the power of the Indians on that day for the first time. Okay. And then Rajendra Prasad, Brish Kishore Babu, Maulana Mozahul Haq and several other prominent lawyers had arrived from Bihar. They conferred with Gandhi. What would they do if he was sentenced to prison? Gandhi asked. Why? The senior lawyer replied. They had come to advise and help him. If he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise and they would go home. What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhi demanded. The lawyers withdrew to consult. Rajendra Prasad has recorded the upshot of their consultations. They thought among themselves that Gandhi was totally a stranger and yet he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants. If they, on the other hand, being not only residents of the adjoining districts but also those who claim to have served those peasants should go home, it would be shameful desertion. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and told him they were ready to follow him into jail. The battle of Champaran is won, he exclaimed. Then he took a piece of paper, divided the group into pairs and put down the order in which each pair was to court arrest. So, the judgment of Gandhiji's trial was not declared, was not pronounced by the judge on that particular day, was not pronounced by the magistrate on that particular day because they were scared that there would be a public unrest if Gandhi would be arrested. So they were going to pronounce the judgment later on. So in the meantime, Gandhiji was allowed to reside in Champaran village. So unless and until his judgment would be pronounced, unless and until his judgment arrived, he was allowed to reside in Champaran. So in the meantime, Rajendra Prasad, Brish Kishore Babu, Maulana Mozahul Haq and many other prominent lawyers who was associated with the sharecroppers case, they came to meet Gandhiji in Motihari and they had discussions with Mahatma Gandhi. So they wanted to know about the further course of action, like what they would do if Gandhiji would be sentenced to prison, or if Gandhiji would be imprisoned, or if Gandhiji was sentenced to prison, then what would be their future course of action. Then Gandhi asked them, they conferred, so Gandhiji asked them for an answer, like what these people are going to do if Gandhiji was sentenced to prison. So during the conversation between the lawyers and Gandhiji put them in complete confusion, like what they would do if he get arrested. And then they decided to converse between themselves and they thought that Gandhiji was a stranger. He was a complete stranger to the place. He didn't know Champaran before Rajkumar Shukla's arrival in Lucknow's Congress session. So he was a complete stranger, but in spite of being a complete stranger, he was courageous enough to come all the way from his hometown to this unknown and insignificant place called Champaran and was ready to go to jail for the peasants of Champaran. So this shows the charismatic personality of Gandhiji, that Gandhiji was ready to go to jail for the peasants for the poor and suppressed peasants of Champaran in spite of being a stranger to them. But because the lawyers of Muzaffarpur, the lawyers were representing the cases of the sharecroppers, they were the neighbors of the peasants. They already knew the peasants. They already were fighting the cases of the sharecroppers. So if they withdrew, if they go back to their home, then it would be a shameful thing for them. It would be a shameful desertion. So it would mean deserting the peasants. So it would mean deserting themselves. So these people, so it would actually show that they were very, very they were shameful enough to desert the peasants, to withdraw from the case. So therefore they decided among themselves. They went back to Gandhi and told him that they were going to follow Gandhiji to jail. They were going to court arrest. Court arrest means to go to jail. Like if Gandhiji would be arrested, then they would follow him to jail. So this was, according to Gandhiji, was the victory of the Battle of Champaran. So the Battle of Champaran is already won. Here actually the author tries to show how the lawyers of Champaran were actually influenced by Mahatma Gandhi to fight for the cause of the sharecroppers of Champaran. Thank you.